So welcome to this podcast from the London Screenwriters Festival. This is episode number 2. I'm Chris Jones, the founder of the London Screenwriters Festival. I'm here with podcast producer Amy Livingston, who pitched the idea of doing a podcast to me at the festival as she's a screenwriter and a delegate. And here we are, we've made it all happen within just a week or so of the festival closing. So welcome, thank you for joining us. We've got a whole session on how to get the most out of the London Screenwriters Festival, should you decide to come to the next one. And it's going to be irreverent, fun, and crammed with tips and strategies and tactics. So, Amy, why don't you introduce yourself and all of our guests?
Sure. Hi, I'm Amy Livingston. I'm a screenwriter. I first went to the London Screenwriters Festival way back when, in 2012, I think. And after a few years away, I was back again this year with a lot of energy and decided to pitch to Chris some rather crazy ideas, of which this podcast is one. And we are joined today by Alex. Alex, do you want to give us a quick intro?
Hi, yeah, I'm Alex English. I'm an author and screenwriter. I've been writing books for kids for about 10 years. And this was my third London Screenwriters Festival this year. So yes, I don't think it was quite as early as 2012, but certainly a few years ago was my first one.
Thank you very much for joining us today. And we've also got the lovely Eleanor. Can you tell us a bit about yourself, Eleanor?
Hi, so I'm Eleanor. I'm a freshly graduated screenwriter just out of film school. And this year was my very first festival.
Amazing. So we want to get into how to get the most from the festival and all those tips and tricks and all of that stuff. We're going to come back to that, though. First of all, I just wanted to ask you both, actually, and Amy as well, what was your experience of the festival this year? How did you find it? Because we've not been on stage for shockingly 6 years. I couldn't believe it when I did the maths on that. The last full mounted festival was 2018, and we're in 2024. So that was a surprise. So how was it? Let's go first with Alex.
It was amazing. It was just so nice to be back in the room with everyone and have that energy. I mean, I've done so many online things over the last few years, but nothing beats being in the room with people. And all those little moments you get in between the sessions, or, queuing for your lunch or etc., which is when all the kind of networking often happens. So yeah, I think in terms of energy and inspiration, it was definitely a real boost for me this year.
A return to form. And Eleanor?
So for me, since it was my first festival, I wasn't quite sure what I would get by coming there, but I definitely felt that energy, this community of writers coming together, and immediately it brings you out of your shell, and you even the very very pronounced introvert that I am really got out of her shell, talked to a bunch of new people who are exactly in the same situation as me, newer screenwriters, people who have been writing for a while, and this energy that goes around and infects everyone that's at the festival. It gives hope, it gives energy, it gives creativity. It was wonderful to get in there.
Right. That's something I hear reported quite a lot from screenwriters who paraphrasing and lumping a load of people together, they'll say, I'm normally an introvert, but suddenly I discovered at the festival I was an extrovert. And it all came out, and it was just fabulous. So, welcome to the club, Eleanor. And Amy.
Thank you.
I thought this year was absolutely fantastic. It really reminded me of my first festival. And yeah, it is that energy and pushing yourself to get outside of your comfort zone. I did things at this festival that I never would have thought I would have ever have done. And just for 3 days kind of said, F it, let's just do it. And it was fantastic, and I had a great time. And it was just what I needed.
Amazing. I got I have a mirror version of all of what you've just said as well, because it's the first major festival we've done since 2018. And 5 minutes before going on stage to do the opening, when the music's playing and my brain goes blank, and I'm like, what am I doing? What on earth am I doing? And I had an enormous amount of dread and fear coursing through me. And then as soon as I was on stage, it was all gone. I'm like, I'm home. I'm back. It's brilliant. And it was just an amazing roller coaster from that point on. So yeah, brilliant. Brilliant. So tips and tricks then. And I'll probably pitch in some myself. And we're going to dive into other tips and tricks. Like we're going to get into Pitch Fest and other things. But if you had one or two really big tips that you would offer somebody who's thinking about coming to the festival, what would that be? And I'm going to start with you, Alex.
I think don't be afraid to talk to people, because everyone's in the same boat and people are so open and happy to talk about these things they're passionate about, and we've all got that in common, I think, at the festival. So yeah, definitely don't be shy and try and just say hi to people and introduce yourself and smile, and that's all it takes, really. And I think also talk to anybody and everybody, because I was chatting to a documentary filmmaker, but they actually ended up having a contact in animation, which is what I'm interested in, despite that not being what they do. So I think it's just great to get to know as many people as you can, really, despite what they do. It's all useful stuff.
Amazing.
And it's fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about community. And we've known that from year one, that one of our greatest strengths is not the stage and the people on the stage, but it's the actual people in the audience. It's the community. It's that gigantic network of talent and people, and everybody's got their own uniqueness and something that they can bring. But often we just don't know because we're not talking. So we really, really encourage that. Eleanor, what are your thoughts?
Well, Alex stole my advice, so I'm going to have to be original here. But yeah, definitely this, just a reminder that as a writer, trying to sell your projects, getting them out there, it goes through networking, and it's really important to talk to other people. And I understand it can be really, really difficult to open up and just like that to 100 strangers in a single day. But it comes really naturally once you kick yourself in the butt and start talking to people, and you realize that everybody is as weird as you. So yeah, like you said, Chris, we can talk about Star Trek for 3 days straight and no one will call you weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's really helpful to create that network that will eventually lead you to meeting the right people at the right time, who will have the funds, the tools, the contacts to give you for your specific project, and you'll make a ton of friends.
Right. And Amy?
Just recognize that you're in a safe space and leave all that, criticism that goes on in your head, leave all of that negativity somewhere else. And just for 3 days, go enjoy it, forget about that lovely critical voice that tends to take over, and have a bit of a laugh with people as well. I don't think you need to take it all quite as seriously as you could. It's not a conference. Go play all out and have fun, and you will get such a good reception from the people around you if you bring that to the festival.
Right. Isn't it interesting that, we obviously talk about sessions and speakers and events and Pitch Fest, and yet nobody's mentioned all of that. And that mirrors, again, what the delegates, by Sunday, they're having such a great time, and they've forgotten about Pitch Fest, the thing that was really the thing that they thought was most important to them. And by the time they're through the machine of letting go and having fun and learning and connecting, it seems to be the least important thing on their mind, which is really quite fascinating. Amy, over to you.
Many, many moons ago, there used to be stuff on the London Screenwriters Festival websites and blog posts, I think, which were, everything that you need to have in advance for the festival. What do you need? So, Eleanor, what would you say is a key list of things that you need to have ready with you when you arrive at the festival?
And be creative as well. It doesn't have to be serious.
Be creative. Water, definitely. Because at the end of the first day, I was completely dehydrated. So Don't forget to have water. So definitely.
I'm going to dive in on these, because that's really. So first of all, nobody can afford to buy water at Regent's University, right? Unless you're prepared to remortgage or sell a car. But they do have water fountains, so bring an empty bottle as well. Sorry, Eleanor.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely something to take notes with, because I spent most of the sessions getting all the advice I could on a piece of paper. And if you're like me and you forget a lot of things really fast, then it's good to have highlighters and pens around. And come with a positive attitude, I say. Just have this openness about talking to people. It's like you said, Chris. I participated in the Pitch Fest, and it's really there's a really obsessive mindset about it. I need to be ready for my pitch. Nothing else matters. Forget the sessions. And but when you get there, and the energy takes you in, it really relaxes you and gives you a better mindset for the actual pitch, actually, which is why I really liked pitching in the afternoon, because I had the morning to really settle in and take in the richness of the sessions, of the people.
Yeah.
So yeah, have that open mindset and know you're gonna learn and have fun as much as you're gonna obsess over your pitch, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, I love that. Some good advice there. And how about you, Alex? Is there a checklist of things you like to go through before you come to the festival, or are you more of a...
Do you know what? I was really unprepared. I was really unprepared this time, and I actually made up my pitch in the line. So I'm probably not the best person to ask. I would say snacks and caffeine are probably the two key things that you need. But yeah, as long as I've got something to write notes on, and I've got food basically, so I don't get hangry. That's pretty much all I need.
What about business cards? How do we all feel about them? Did we have them? If we didn't, did we need them? What happened, Alex?
I forgot mine, to be honest. I, in a way, not having anything with me was because I did see a lot of people with like a lot of pre-prepared stuff has given me a good excuse actually to email things to people afterwards and sort of have another contact with them. So I just gave my email address and they wrote it down and I took theirs and then I've emailed them afterwards. So I didn't really feel like I needed business cards.
Yeah, we have gone fully digital at the festival as well, which, is ethical for the rainforests, and also it's just everybody's got a phone in their hand and it seems we can update it as well. And I just think we do live in that era now where pieces of paper feel like lumps of lead in your pocket. So I
would agree with that. And when I did the networking class 2 months ago, I was on my way there and then realised I didn't have my business cards, and I was just like absolutely kicking myself. And then during the training, you went, you don't need a business card. You've got a phone. You've got a phone in your hand. Just ask for somebody's number, ask for somebody's email address. And it was like, that was so much easier to do as well than to kind of find a way to suddenly slip into the conversation, or can I give you my business card? Which just feels quite unnatural. Whereas, what's your number? Or are you on Instagram? All of that really, really easy. And it made the whole networking thing so much less frightening and stressful.
Yeah. And what about you, Amy? What's your hit list of things to prepare and bring with you? You're looking like you've been put on the spot now. So I'll tell you one thing you shouldn't bring, and this is, we get asked this every year, is should I bring printouts of my script? Like literally nobody wants to carry around 120 pages of paper. So don't do that. You can send them a PDF over email.
Yeah, don't put it on a memory stick either, because a lot of people won't take them. Water bottle, absolute must. I would say a notebook, but I would also say you don't need to obsess about taking notes, which I think we might get to in a little bit later on. Battery charger for your phone. If you've got a spare battery charger, then that's quite handy. Some money. And your ticket.
I mean, it really is a light festival now, isn't it? I mean, I think 10 years ago, people did walk around with literal libraries in their bag, but we're all digital now, and we should really lean into that, I think.
Yeah, I know when my first couple of festivals, I think I went, with a ring binder and a whole A4 notepad, and then you had books on sale as well. And by the end of the day, like the bag that I'm carrying is almost like taking me backwards. It's like, this is not comfortable. This is not a comfortable position to be in to then go and chat with people or go for a beer. So pack light, pack as light as you can.
Right, let's go to Pitchfest, Amy.
So, any tips from both of you about Pitchfest?
Okay, so I would say know who you want to talk to, because there's a lot of people in there, so it's good to get to the ones that you really want to talk to first, just in case you don't have time. And I think the other thing is kind of relax, and it's just chatting to someone about your project. It's not like life or death in that 5 minutes. You're really just trying to make a connection with the person and let them know a bit about you. So don't try and memorize it all off by heart. It's really just chatting to someone who's interested in what you're doing, and think of it that way, and don't get too stressed.
Eleanor, how about you?
I would say take full advantage of the 3 hours I think you have for your pitching session. So this happened to me personally, but my first pitch was an absolute disaster because I was so nervous that just my words were not making sense. And I almost left right after my first pitch. And then I was like, but I have like 2 hours and a half left in this room, and there are still producers talking to people. So I you know what? Go back in there. I rewrote my pitch in my head, completely simplified everything, and I managed to pitch it another 2 times. And both of those times it went really, really well. So yeah, take full advantage of the room, the situation. Even if there are no more, if you've pitched to everyone who might be interested in your project, go have a chat with whoever's left if you have time. Ask them questions, ask them advice. They might have people to put you in touch with. Take full advantage.
Amy, what's your thoughts?
I've got a couple actually. So first off, as Eleanor's just said, you can get really nervous if you are doing it for the first time. So in my opinion, it can be good to pitch to somebody that you're not particularly interested in, just to get that first one out of the way, and then to get a little bit more confidence to maybe pitch the people you think will be interested in your project. Do your research on the pitch execs, and I would also suggest having like a index card or something with everybody's names and what they're looking for, because even if they're not the ones you're interested in, you might end up talking to them. So it might well be worth just having that little bit of knowledge that will probably disappear from your brain the moment you walk into the room. So having something written down. And yeah, chat to as many as possible. And don't go in with the purpose of solely pitching one project. I did it a few years ago, and there was one guy that nobody went to for ages, and I was in a queue that was 12 deep, and this guy was still just sat there free the whole time. So I just popped over and said hello, and I pitched him my original thing, and he was like, "That's not my genre at all. I'm into sort of horror or zombies." And I was like, "Oh, you like zombie movies?" "Yeah, I really like zombie movies. I'm doing a zombie script." He was like, "Right, now you're talking." And then we got into a decent conversation about it, which also meant that my nerves went from, way up here to nice and calm. And my final piece of advice would be, if you get someone's contact details, make sure you follow up.
Yeah.
Don't bottle it afterwards and go, well, maybe they just gave me their email address to be kind or to get rid of me or whatever. After the 3 days, when that little voice comes back in your head again and you're sitting there going, no, I can't possibly send them an email. No, just fucking do it.
Yeah. And the excuses that people come up with, like there might be a typo on page 4. It's that kind of weird self-sabotage. It's not really not having faith in your project. It's imposter syndrome, isn't it? And we all suffer from it, and they all suffer from it too. They're all sat there going, I hope they think they know what I'm doing. So we're all in the same boat. It's just, we just think that, they're not. I'm going to offer a few cheeky tips as well for the people who are listening. And I'm going to dial the clock back, which is read the emails about how to book your Pitch Fest session, because when they go live, the slots go quick, and Lisa gets inundated with people saying, I can't believe I only came in 15 minutes late and all the slots were gone, even though I'd sent them like a million emails saying the slots will go in 60 seconds. So get there on time, hit refresh. If something's going wrong, it's normally user error, because people get into a kind of little bit of a mental freeze around it. And then the next thing on a similar note is be really lovely to Lisa. I would even encourage you bringing her chocolates. Lisa is your friend, and she's the gatekeeper to the Pitch Fest. That's all I'm going to say. Is you want to be friends with Lisa, so yeah, Lisa's been running the Pitch Fest since, I don't know, 2014. She knows everybody. She knows all the little tricks people play, and she's a great supporter of all the screenwriters. And my final thought is really echoing what something Amy just mentioned, which is make friends. Like, there's a strong argument to not even pitch anything apart from yourself. I mean, you clearly have to pitch something because that's the conceit of the moment. But pitch your project, and if they don't like it, or they don't like, it's not the right genre, then just make friends and still say, hey, can we go for coffee? I'd like to see if there's some way I can help you in your business, in your career. I don't know what that is, but it's a small industry. And if I help you at some point, then maybe you'll help me. And I don't know what any of that means, but let's help each other. And that normally creates the opportunity for something to happen. And it may take 25 years for that to come round. And that meeting, 25 years later, they're in a different job, you're in a different genre, and suddenly the stars align and you go, sure, we met 25 years ago. We got 25 years of history now, instead of, hello, I've never met you before. So make as many friends as you can. I think it's probably the biggest thing I think you can get out of the Pitch Fest. So I've got a question now. I know Amy did because I saw her there, but Eleanor and Alex, did you come to the Thursday night drinks beforehand? And what was it like? Let's go with Alex.
Yes, I did go, and it was. I wasn't expecting it to be so busy, but it was really busy, and it was great. And it was actually nice to meet a load of people beforehand, and then the next day when it was the actual thing, I knew so many more people. So yeah, it was really good, and I knew a fair few people sort of from online who I hadn't met face to face before, so that was nice to just kind of ease myself into it over a drink the night before. So yeah, definitely well worth going to.
Yeah, and you get to pick up your pass early, then you don't have to stress on Friday morning and get in early. I totally agree with you, Alex. It was a lovely way to kind of like start the festival, even though the festival hadn't really officially started. But it was just nice to go, hey, how you doing? Like, glad you could make it. Eleanor.
I wish I'd gone. Unfortunately, I had a friend's birthday that Thursday, so I had to choose. But I will definitely try to make it for the next festival, because I felt like I'd already missed something when I got there on Friday, and I was like, there are already groups forming, people talking to each other. This happened last night over a beer, and I was not there.
You got the full-on FOMO.
Yeah, I got full-on FOMO. And so, yeah, I would suggest to anyone who can to go to the pre-drinks.
Amy, over to you, Amy.
What about the drinks? Or
why not?
Well, I'm going to have to say that I didn't go this year.
Didn't you? I thought I saw you there. I'm hallucinating now.
No, unfortunately not. I would normally, but this year didn't. The stars did not align, right. And I too had the FOMO on the Friday.
So avoid the Friday FOMO. That's what we're going to call it next year. It's the Friday FOMO party. Please do. So obviously the festival is all about seminars and sessions and pitching and actors' table reads and script labs and all that stuff. And it's all very intense and focused. But actually, one of the best ways to get the most out of the festival is to just kick back and chill out and just enjoy the whole thing. And, it kind of naturally happens by Sunday anyway, because people are so exhausted. they can't handle it anymore, so they just naturally chill out. But do you have any thoughts on how to relax into the experience? Amy, seeing as it was your question in the first place, let's go with you first.
I think one of the biggest things is to realise that it doesn't matter at what point in your journey as a writer you're at. It really doesn't matter, and you will all be able to talk to other people there. It's just the only thing that matters really is that you want to be there and you consider yourself to be a writer. I think is quite important, or a maker of the film. I think my first one, I was really stressing and panicking. It was I didn't have 5 scripts under my belt. I hadn't done this, I hadn't done that. I wasn't going to pitch, and I really felt like I was sort of going to something that I shouldn't be a part of. And that's not the case at all. You just go, hang out, have fun. If you don't have a script yet, if you haven't pitched anything, or you're not pitching anything, or you're not doing all of the other bits and pieces along the way of the festival, like, it doesn't matter. Just come, meet people, learn some stuff, have fun. Alex?
I think for me, it's kind of about pacing myself a bit, because there's so much content that you can feel like you need to go to absolutely every session, but where it's all on replay afterwards anyway, you can always catch up on the content stuff. So I found actually just skipping a couple of sessions where I felt like my brain was I was too overwhelmed with it, and just kind of relaxing, having a drink and chatting to people. Or actually one afternoon, I think I went back to my hotel room a bit early and had a bit of a rest, and then came back out for the networking in the evening, and just kind of letting myself off a bit, I suppose, rather than feeling I've got to kind of tick off every single thing on the agenda. It's supposed to be fun. So if you're a bit tired, it's fine to just skip a session, or just chat to people if you want to. So yeah, I think just pacing myself a bit was the way that I made it more kind of chilled.
I don't know.
I'm gonna follow up on what you both said and say, yeah, don't take it so seriously. I think it's probably the best way I can phrase it. So yeah, don't have a pitch ready if you're going to the pitch fest or things like that, but take it more as a social event rather than an opportunity that will never happen again, and where you have to be present everywhere all the time, 24/7 for 3 days. It's take it as a meet and greet where you get to talk to people who have been there for a few years. Meet some people who are exactly in the same shoes as you, just looking for a break, looking to find a community, finding people to talk to, and yeah, just Hakuna Matata.
Right. Well, it is reflective, isn't it, that it is a social industry, and you can kind of see that in the execs with the pitch fest and with the speakers, and it just infects everybody, doesn't it? Because we just want to talk about that thing that we love all the time, and learn how to do it more and better and be more successful. But most of all, we just want to be with other people who do it and talk about it, and just breathe, eat, drink, sleep, everything. And that's really what the festival is all about. Amy?
So I know sometimes for some people the ticket price can seem a bit much, or the idea of 3 days in London can be a bit financially prohibitive. So do you have any tips and tricks for perhaps reducing those costs and still enjoying the festival but on a bit more of a budget? I don't know, I'm going to go to you first.
Not sure I'm the best person to answer that question, because I live in London, so I don't have the travel cost and the hotel room.
But I guess there's a tip there, which is make friends with people who live in London. Yeah, totally. And you can definitely couch surf it.
Very true. As for the ticket itself, I guess best advice is budget.
Yeah, is get in the early bird.
Count your finances. Yeah. Get in the early birds.
Yeah.
Get on the monthly payment. It feels a lot less it's a
It's
lot
cheaper.
less.
Yeah.
It's
You,
cheaper.
you can use those words.
Yeah.
Look at us all English trying
No,
to
I was
dance
saying
around it.
no. I was just thinking that paying £33 per month sounds less daunting than dropping
Yeah.
$350
Yeah.
like a week before the festival. So yeah, get on the early birds.
Yeah, definitely. I did that last year, and I've done it for next year already, actually.
Me
Because I
too.
was kind of bought my ticket as soon as I got home from this year's festival. And I think booking a hotel early, I stayed in an okay hotel, I would say, that was very close by, and it was not too expensive, and it was a bit basic, but I wasn't really in it very much, so I didn't worry too much. It was kind of clean and safe, and that was all I needed.
It's a bit like when going to Cannes, you don't really care where you stay because literally going to walk through the door, get in bed and go to sleep, and then get out of bed and leave.
Absolutely.
There's no point in it being, as long as it's quiet and clean and safe, then great.
Yeah, cheap hotel, sofa surfing. If you can, make yourself a coffee in the morning in the hotel or wherever with somebody else's kettle, because that makes it cheaper.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Bring your keep cup because it was 50p cheaper on a coffee or tea, and every time I went to get one, so I needed to remember to bring the keep cup.
Yeah, that reusable water bottle, and if you are staying in a cheap hotel, grab some bits that you can kind of make an easy lunch and bring a packed lunch with you.
Yeah, I think one of the big tips on that is let's hope Regents never listen to this podcast, but like the food is ridiculously expensive.
Yeah.
And
very true.
It's sort of like go on fasting for 3 days, or bring it with you. Yeah. I wish we could create a solution for that, but unfortunately, contractually, we're not allowed to. But there you go. So
get a biscuit in your bag.
So obviously we're in the world of streaming now, and we streamed all the sessions. We learned loads about doing that. We'll be doing it very differently next year, but it does mean that all sessions are recorded, and there's like 1,000 of the sessions now from 2010 onwards in LSF Connect. Are you going to be watching the sessions? They're not up at the moment. We're still editing them. I think the first 2 or 3 have gone up. But we'll probably be adding them at the rate of 2 or 3 a day now until we're through all 100 or so of them. But are you planning to dive in and watch them? I'm going to start with Eleanor.
Yes, absolutely, because it tore me apart to have to choose between the the sessions. Sometimes they were at the same time. So yeah, there are definitely some sessions that I need to catch up on. For example, the AI, using AI as a writer, getting in front of the AI craze that's going on.
That was the Stephen Follows one. That was really good. I would highly recommend.
I really want to listen to that one. And yeah, I think I'm probably going to listen to most of the ones I was unable to attend because they all sound incredible.
Amazing. Alex?
Yeah, same. I had a few clashes that I kind of noted down the sessions that I wanted to go to, or I'd be chatting to someone later and they say, oh, did you go to this? It was really good. And so I kind of got a bit of a wish list of things I want to catch up on when they're out.
Right. And Amy?
Definitely sessions from this year that I'll be catching up on. And I, on a fairly regular basis, actually do a bit of a dive into LSF Connect and hunt out previous years because I still like watching the Edgar Wright one every now and again. That,
yeah,
I find if I'm having a writing slump, that's quite a good one to kind of re-energize myself and get going.
Good Lord, that's like 2013 or something, or 12. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's a long time ago. Yeah. You both look so young.
Yeah, let's not moving on.
But it's great. You've got this like online library of essentially thousands of hours of seminars with screenwriters, filmmakers, agents, producers, and you can dip in and out whenever you want to. I think the beauty of the fact is that you have all the videos online and now it's every session, isn't it, that's filmed
Yeah.
and put in LSF Connect, whereas I think previously some weren't. It does also reduce the amount of notes that you necessarily have to take in each session, because you can catch up. I think my first year I got hand cramp from the amount of notes that I was making. I was literally writing down every single word people were saying at speed. Whereas now you can just go, write down. I think in one of the sessions I was just made a quick note of a movie or an app, and then that's it. And then I can look at those key things until the videos are uploaded, and then I can go back and watch them again.
Yeah. And I mean, moving away from the videos and to before the festival as well, one of the reasons you get your ticket early is because you get to apply to all the additional sessions like the advanced mentoring labs and the actors table reads. And every year, I'm hit by people after the submissions have closed saying, oops, I forgot it, or I didn't get my ticket until too late. And we have to do little wiggle jiggles to see if we can accommodate them. And if we can, we do. But really apply for everything and get those submissions in, because the process of applying is part of the job. It's like writing to a deadline, and you might get in. Only 2 nights ago, we had 2 script chats over Zoom, and both of them, they're supposed to be like a couple of hours long. So it's like 6 people plus an expert really deep diving into a subject and picking apart individual projects. And we did one a couple of days ago with Pat Higgins and Marcus Marcoux, 2 independent filmmakers, and they started at like 7:30. And then I got the message on my phone at 1 a.m. that it had concluded. I'm like, dudes, like, what are you doing? Like, but that's amazing for the delegates, because they just had this incredible experience. And the same thing, not quite as long, happened just last night with Dave Reynolds, who wrote Finding Nemo. Like, he did a 4.5 hour script chat, and you don't get into those things unless you apply for them. And there's not script chat, sorry, script lab, and you don't get in if you don't apply for it. And very often we don't get that many applications for the script labs. I think people think that they're not ready or they're not right, and I really want to encourage people to apply, because you'd be amazed what you can get into. And yes, another tip. This came from Amy earlier as we were chatting about it. I don't think we need to pose it as a question.
Yeah.
Really. We have an app, again, I suppose this comes into the preparation for the festival. Like, there's a talent directory part of it where you're allowed to put your details in. We don't put people's details in because some people don't want their details in. They're in witness protection or whatever the reason is. So you have to go in and put your own details in. And I do see people putting their details in on the Monday after the festival. And I'm like, guys, like, the whole point of it is so that people can look at the phone and go, I know who you are. I've got your email. I've got your website. I've got your phone number. It's all in there already. And we can really easily connect. So really take advantage of that, and don't wait till after the festival, because people are not looking at the app after the festival. Okay, Amy, your question is next.
Yes. So this year, how did we all find all the delegates, the speakers? Alex, did you have any particular sessions with speakers that you thought were amazing? Were there any particular delegates that you found a new connection with and expanded your network? How did it go?
Oh my God, so many new delegates. I really enjoyed watching the it wasn't Pitch Fest, the pitch competition. That was great, listening to everyone's pitches. And it was really, I didn't actually pitch, but it was just really useful listening to the kind of good pitches and the bad pitches, and getting to know a lot of new people. In terms of the sessions that I watched, I really liked Joey's pitching session where he's giving, and John York's one as well, where they're giving feedback on pitches. I went to lots of different stuff, actually. The Christmas movie one with Sarah Rose Pickering and others, that was really good. And also, that was also about daytime thrillers, which wasn't something that I'd really was aware of beforehand, but quite interesting. And also the children, writing for children's, because I write for children at the moment, with Catherine and Johnny Smith. That was really, really helpful for me personally, just because that's the kind of the genre I write in. So yeah, lots of stuff. And then I also went to some random things on action and yeah, also I don't really have a favourite. It was all good, but yeah, I went to a wide range. Some things that I knew about, and some things that were just a bit off the wall.
And in terms of the other delegates, have you made some new friends, new contacts?
Yeah, definitely loads. I sort of met up with. There were a lot of people that I sort of knew a bit vaguely, and it was nice to see them again, and have more time to chat. And then I met loads of new people. Some from Australia and New Zealand even. And yeah, plenty. Definitely expanded the old network.
And have you kept in touch?
Yes. So through the WhatsApp group, there's been quite a bit of chat. I've got coffees with a couple of people sort of in the works for once the kids have gone back to school. So yes, that's the key thing, I think, following up afterwards and making sure you actually maintain those connections.
Get you. That sounds like you did really well and had a good festival.
Yeah, I was exhausted at the end, but it was really, really good this year.
And Eleanor, how about you? Delegates, speakers, anybody in particular you really kind of gelled with or inspired you?
There are two sessions that I really, really enjoyed. The first was the TV pitch with John York, just because John York's book Into the Woods has been my writing guide, master Jedi, since I started writing. So I've always been a huge fan of the way he breaks down stories. So hearing him speak was really, really interesting. It was very practical. The way he said, these are the questions you need to ask yourself when you're pitching. This is what the people who hear you pitch will ask, and then he gave us the opportunity to pitch in front of him. Unfortunately, I was too far at the back of the line to be able to pitch my project to him, but it was still very, very interesting to watch everybody pitch and learn from people's successes and mistakes. And the other really cool session I was a part of was the radio drama session with Dirk Maggs. Mostly because
that was your script, wasn't it?
Because it was my script, yeah. So I submitted my script, and I didn't know my script had been chosen for the session until I walked in there and heard the actors repeating their lines, and I was like, "Wait, that I know those lines." And yeah, so that was I was in complete shock during this entire session. I think I wrote maybe 3 notes because my jaw was on the floor. And it's something like radio drama is something I've personally taken an interest in very recently. And after the festival, now I'm trying to write my own radio drama, and hopefully I'll be able to put the project on its feet on my own. And
that's fantastic.
I am trying to friend Dirk on Facebook to ask him questions, because I was so awestruck that I was a babbling idiot at the end of the session. I was like, "Thank you so much. This was awesome. I have a million questions, but I can't formulate them. So just thank you." So that was really something. And as for the networking part, I met so many different kinds of people at the festival. I met students who were fresh out of school like me, people who've been writing for a few years, trying to put their projects on their feet, people who were in the middle of putting their 20-year-old project on their feet. It's amazing to meet that many people. And yes, I've kept in touch. I spent the whole of last week sending emails, texts, and keeping in touch. It's nice to have a little network going, especially if you plan on coming back at next year's festival as well.
That sounds great. It sounds like you both got a lot out of the festival and had a good time and have met some really great people. And I'm glad to see that, you've got to spend some time with your Jedi Master, John Obi-Wan Kenobi York.
Okay, so final question then. So if you had some advice for yourself, going back in time to your very first festival, or somebody else coming for the first time, what one piece of advice do you think you would offer somebody? And I'll go with Eleanor first.
So first tip, escape the Friday FOMO and go to the Thursday drinks if you can. Bring a notebook and look up the speakers, the people you're going to meet, whether it's for the pitch fest or for the sessions. Just look these people up and have questions ready, so you don't get mental blocked when you finally face these people and have the chance to have a conversation with them. And simultaneously, don't take yourself too seriously. Like you're there to meet people, meet the community, and don't be afraid to talk to people. People there like being talked to. They will talk back.
Amazing. And Alex?
I think harking back to what you said earlier, Chris, I would say apply for everything. I mean, the first time I went, even the second time I went, I didn't pitch because I was like, oh, I haven't got anything ready. I was a bit scared. So I would say definitely the more you do it, the easier it gets. So you don't necessarily have to have the project you pitch doesn't necessarily have to be the perfect thing. It's just all about getting yourself out there and talking to people. So yeah, apply for everything, talk to everyone, and enjoy yourself.
Brilliant. And Amy, you can conclude before we conclude.
Definitely get an early bird ticket, apply for everything, get yourself in the talent directory, which I did not do this year, and don't get caught up and let that critical voice in your head take over. Just go, get there, and have an absolutely amazing time.
Amazing. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Amy, again for co-hosting with me, and Eleanor and Alex for sharing your wisdom with me, or with us, with the whole community. This has been the second podcast from the London Screenwriters Festival. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody from the front row of Tuke Hall in 2025, and have an amazing writing year. Thank you for listening, and let's everybody say goodbye. 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 Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.